Good morning, dear students. This is class 10 computer class. Today we will continue our chapter number 3, conditional construct in Java. Last day I explained you about the statements, that there are different type of statements: sequence statements, conditional statements and iterative statements. So today we will discuss what we have to discuss in this chapter about the conditional construct in Java. Okay. So you know that conditional statements we can give by using if-else statements. Okay. So there are many forms of conditional statements. So one by one we will discuss about that. Which type of if-else conditional statements are in Java. First of all, we will discuss about the if conditional statement. It has only one condition with the true part. Means if it has only one condition, and that condition, if that condition is true, the block of statement will execute. Otherwise, it will move to the next statement. Next statement meant it will out from the if block. Okay, means in this case, in this type of if conditional statement, there is no opportunity, there is no statement for false part. If condition is true, which condition is given along with the if that condition is true, then this block of statements will execute. Otherwise, it will move to the next statement. Means there is no option for false condition. If condition will be false, then what we have to do, that is not given in such type of if condition statement. Okay. This is made up only for the true part. Next type of if-else condition is if-else. If-else. Here we have two blocks of statements. First one is if the condition is true, then one block for the true part will execute, and if condition is false, then another block of statements will execute. Means here we have the option, if condition is true, then which statements we have to execute, and if condition is false, then else part block of statement will execute. Means here we have both type of options, if condition is true or if condition is false. Okay. In case of true part, in case of true condition, this block of statement 1 will execute, and if this condition is false, then the else part of block of statement will execute. So these are two first type of conditional statement. First one is if, second one is if else. Now the third one is if condition ladder. Means here we have more than one condition. In this type of conditional statement, we have more than one condition. So one by one the conditions are tested, and it will be tested from top to bottom. Okay, first condition, then it will check the second condition, then it will check the third condition, then fourth condition. Okay, so if any one of the condition becomes true, then controls come out of the ladder after executing that particular conditions block of statement. For example, this is the syntax of if, nested if, you can say. This is also known as nested if condition. If condition ladder. So we can execute in this way. This is the syntax. First of all, it will check, compiler will check your first if condition. This is the first condition. It first if condition we will give only with the if, and next conditions we will give with else if. After this else if also we can give next else if. Else if we can give number of times, there is no limit for it, but first time we will give the condition along with only if, and next time by using the else if. Okay, next time every time we can give the conditions by using else if. So first time we will check if, by using if statement, means first condition we will check by if condition, and then if this condition is true, then this part of statements, this block of statement will execute. Okay, if here only condition is true, then it will come out from these all blocks. Okay, if this condition is true, it will not check this one or this one, any other conditions it will not check. If first condition is true, it will come out from these all blocks. Okay, suppose that if this condition is not true, this is false, then it will check the next condition. It will be given by else if. It will be given by else if, and if this condition is true, suppose that this is false but this is true, then this part of block of statement will execute. Okay, suppose that this is false and this one is again false, then if again next else if is given, next else if condition is given, means third condition is given, then it will check that condition. If that condition is true, then again it will come out from this conditional block. Otherwise, if all these conditions are false, means condition 1 is false, condition 2, maybe condition 3 is given and condition 4 are given, those all conditions are false, then in last it will execute the else part. If all the conditions are false, then it will execute the statements which are given in the else block. Okay, so what is the purpose of this last else? Means if all the conditions, given conditions are false, then in the last else part will execute and then it will come out from this ladder. Okay, otherwise if any one of these condition, wherever it will be true, it will come out from the ladder. Okay, so this is the third part of if condition. Next one is nested if. Nested if means if within if. If within if. So it has condition laid out in such a manner, one condition is true leads to another condition. So we will see what happen in this. So first of all, what I told you, if within if. This is not else if. Be careful about this. This is not if and then else if. Means if in last if statements, what I have explained you, that if condition is false, it will check the else if part. But here no. If here if first if condition is true, then only it will check the next if condition. Okay, but here if first if condition is false, it will not check to next if condition. Okay, remember that if first if condition is true, then only it will check the second if condition, and when these both conditions are true, then this block of statement will execute. Okay, for example, if we have to check three numbers, which one is greater? So if I will tell you if num1 is greater than num2, okay, num1 is greater than num2, it is correct, it is true, num1 is greater than num2, then it will check the next condition, num1 is greater than num3. Okay, then I can give here yes, num1 is greatest number. Okay, if first time if this condition is false, it will not check next condition, next if condition, remember that. Okay, so to check condition 2, it is must that condition 1 should be true. Okay, so if first it will check first if condition. If it is true, then it will check the next if condition. If this one is also true, then this block of statement will execute. Okay, but suppose that first condition is true, first if condition is true, but next if condition is false, then what it will do? First if condition is true, next if condition is false, then it will not execute this block of statement. What it will do? It will execute the if else part of this if condition. Else part of this if condition. Okay, means else part of second if condition. Else part of second if condition. Okay, in which case first if condition is true, second is false. Okay, means for this one it is true, so else part of this if condition, next if condition. It means it will execute block of statements B. Okay, but suppose that condition 1 is only false. First if condition is only false, then it will not check the next if condition, and it will directly go to the else part of first if condition. First else part of first if condition. In this case, it will execute this block of statement C, which is the else part of first if condition. Okay, understood? So what is the summary? If condition 1 is true, then check further if condition true. And if condition 2 is true, then block of statement A will get execute, otherwise block of statement B will execute. If condition 1 is false only, then blocks of statement C will execute. Okay. So nested if condition means if within if. Okay. Now we will learn about the ternary operator. Ternary operator is also known as the alternative of if statement. Last year also I explained you about the ternary operator. This is the alternative of if statement, but it has some limitations, like the if type of conditional statement. We cannot use it for very large type of codings. We can use it only for small codings. Okay, so it has one condition with a true and one for a false part, and these both true and false part we can write for in the single line only. In the same line we can write for both true and false statement, and it uses symbol, this one question mark, and this colon sign we are using. What is the syntax of ternary operator? First it will check the condition, and then question mark means is this condition is true? Is this condition is true? If the condition is true, then it will execute the first part, means this is the true part, and this colon sign is known as here otherwise. Otherwise it will execute this statement. If condition is false, it will execute this part. Okay, so this operator is used only for the small conditional cases. For example, here I have taken one variable max. In max I will store the output, I will store the result. And which result? First it will check the condition. Okay, like this. First it will check the condition. What is the condition? Is A greater than B? Is A greater than B? So this question mark is for that, is this true or not? Okay, so is A greater than B? If it is true, then this is before this colon sign, it means it will print for the true statement, means it will store value of A in the max. variable, and if condition is false, then it will store the value of b in the variable max. Okay, so we can write this same statements by using if else, and we can write the same thing by using ternary operator also. So in ternary operator we are using this question mark and also colon sign. So next example we can write here also q. There is one variable q in which we will write the output. If the statement will true, if the condition is true, then also what will be the output, and if condition is false, then what will be the output. Both things we will write. So what is the condition? If b not equal to 0. If b not equal to 0. So if not equal to 0, then you can divide a by b. Otherwise, this is known as otherwise, it will store 0 in the variable q. If b is not equal to if b is not equal to 0, then it will store the quotient which we will get after dividing a by b. Otherwise, it will store value 0 in the variable q. Okay, next d. D is again a variable, and it will store the result after checking which condition. Is a greater than b? Is a greater than b? If a is greater than b, then you subtract b from a and then store the value in variable d. If a is not greater than b, in that case you subtract a from b and that value you store in the variable d. Okay, next one. Here again we have a variable r in which we have to store the output. So what is the condition? We will divide p by q, and if the remainder is 0, then if it is remainder is 0, then you store 1 in the remainder value. Otherwise you store 0 in the r variable. Okay, so in such a way we can use ternary operator in place of if statements, but it is used only for small codings. Okay, next we will discuss about the switch case conditional statement. So this is also the part of conditional statement, like the if conditional statement. This is also the conditional statement, but we are using it for multiple conditions. It can be used for multiple conditions, but it can verify only one cases of equality. Okay, it means it can check only the case of equality. And it is mainly useful in the programs. Which type of programs? Menu driven program, where a menu is needed to make a choice. So when we want to give the choice in our program, just like that menu driven program, in such type of programs we can use switch case. How we are writing? What is the syntax of switch case statement? First of all, we will write here switch, and then we can give here expression in the form of condition, and then we can give here different cases, like case 1. If it is equal to case 1, then block of coding 1 will execute. If case 2 is true, then block of code 2 will execute. And you can see here that after each case we have to give here break statement. Okay, after each case we will give the break statement. Why we are giving that we will discuss now. This is the rest part of this switch case statement. After case 1, case 2, we can give the condition for case 3, for case 4, and you can see that after each case we will give the break statement. And in the last we have to give default. What is the use of default? that if suppose that if it will not match with any of the case, okay, if it will not match with any of the cases, then it will execute the default statement. Default statement is totally optional, but it is better that if any case in the case that if any case will not true, then it will not produce any result, any output after the execution. In that case, you can give the default statement if any one of the case is not true. So it can be only used for the equality, comparison of equality. So switch case have many restrictions also. Now we will see. So just now I explained you use of default in switch case. What are the uses of default switch case? If none of the cases match, then default becomes active. Otherwise what happen, obviously it is optional, but without its present, what happen, if there will be no case according to your condition, then what happen, it will not show you any output. So there will be no action in the switch case blocks when none of the cases match. So it's better that you should give the default statement in switch case. What is the importance of break? So I told you after each case we are giving break statement. What is the use of this break statement? That the program flow to exit. Suppose that first case is um, you run the first case, and if the break statement is not used inside a case construct, then what happen, it will also check, it will also execute the statements of next case without break, and in this way it will execute all the blocks of all the cases. So what is the main purpose of switch case statement? It will not be satisfied. So that's why after each case it should break from switch case. After each case, if it is true, it should break from switch case statement. Otherwise it will execute all the cases and it will execute all the statements of all the cases. So this process is known as fall through. Now we will compare the if else statements and switch case. You know that both are conditional statements. So we will see that what is the importance of if else and what is the importance of switch case statement. In if else we can use all type of relational operator like greater than, less than, equal to also, but here in switch case will only we can compare the equality, comparison of equality, and two variables can be compared, but here we can only compare single variable, single expression, single function, means we cannot use here more than one variable in case of switch case, but in if else we can use two variables for the comparison. In if else multiple conditions can be connected also by using logical operator, but in switch case multiple conditions are not possible. So these all are the importance of if else. First one is we can use here relational operator in if else case, we can use here logical operator. These two possibilities are not given in switch case. In if else we can compare two variables, in switch case we can not, we can only compare single variable. In if else all data types are allowed, but in switch case float, double, these all are not allowed. Only integer type of values like byte, char or short, int, long, these are only allowed to use. Float and double are not allowed. Even strings we cannot use, only char we can use. And if else is preferred in case where there are conditions other than equality operator. If we have to use other operators also, like greater than, less than, logical operators, these all if we have to use in our conditions, then we can use if else. And switch case is only preferable when you have to use equality operator. Okay, and here in if else, no use of break, no possibility of fall through statements, but here there is a possibility of fall through, and we can use here to and if you want to save your program, keep safe your program for fall through, you have to use the break statement. And in if else, there is no use of break, but properly you have to close the brackets. These are the uses of if else and switch case statement. And today in our class we have seen that how we can use different type of if statements, and when we can use the switch case statements, what are the differences between them, we have seen. Next day we will see some more programs based on these conditional statements. That time, have a great day. Thank you.